Before I begin this video, do be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers sometime this year, so appreciate any help in pressing the subscribe button. But alright, I'm not going to keep you here any longer. Do be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. Hello everybody, it's me Gxfrosty and welcome back to the YouTube video. And I think you've noticed that I'm in a new scene myself. I decided it's time to change it. I did a really similar video a while back. Not even a while back, it wasn't even that long ago. It was an Arcane Honesty tier list, and this isn't to rank which one is the best. The best is to rank which one is the strongest. But of course, this is all opinion based, so I do expect some people to go down in the comments and be like,
yo bro, your take is endless.
Stuff like that, you know, like, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. But if you guys do end up disagreeing with it, do leave your comments down below. I'd love to listen to your bad takes, you know? So before on the last one, the Arcane Honesty one, I started from strongest to weakest. This time I'm thinking let's go from weakest to strongest, you know, this way you guys can start imagining or start guessing yourselves which one might be the strongest in this game. And to me, there's only really two good competitors for this, but let's begin. Quincy's are the weakest one in the game. And now before you all start going straight down in the comments, clicking out this video to start saying,
But Quincy's are the strongest. Have you seen Forest and stuff like that?
Yeah, okay. I get it. Forest is really powerful. We got Odyssey, which is one of the most annoying ones. Oasis isn't even that bad. Alright, like there's some really good stuff that Quincy's have. But when you compare them with everything else that's in the game, it is kind of pretty weak. Because yes, they're very strong. They have extremely good, reliable combos. They have, including the Volt Standings, have some extremely good moves that can be annoying to pretty powerful. The biggest fall off that they have compared to everything else is that they don't have any extra powerful abilities or gimmicks. For example, we go to Soulreapers, they have the whole Vizard crap. Alright, like Vizard absolutely hard carries Soulreapers. Without it, they probably wouldn't even be that strong. You got Vastocars, their whole deal is that they literally have the extra passive stats. Quincy's don't have any of that. And if you're just gonna bring up the fact that Quincy's have you watch, have you forgotten that Vastocars also have the dodging ability and Beast? And honestly, going to the auto dodge thing, you take away you watch from the Quincy's and where would they be? They definitely aren't going to be that strong, that's for sure. Now, to the next strongest, third best thing in the game, alright? We got Quincycars. I was going to put them in the same category as Quincy's, but I feel like technically they still do have different buffs than Quincy's. I was going to put them as a different race. And obviously, Quincycars are just a far better version of Quincy's. Their only main differences is they actually have stronger passive stats. And really, the only extra things that they have is that they have like the old 10 extra levels, like I already mentioned, extra passives. And when they keep the Aronkar clan, with the buffs are not that bad. And who knows, maybe in the future if they do enable hollow moves on the Quincycars, they might end up skyrocketing to be the best thing in the game. Now the second strongest thing in the game, Soulreapers. I had a pretty hard time deciding whether or not to be first, simply because kind of get carried by the whole visor stuff. But the thing that really hardcore carries them, the Vastalord form that they get when they get knocked down in their visor. Alright, and there's definitely a few things that personally makes them a little weaker than Vastocars. The Visor Mask has a debuff if you don't have it on, and that debuff can be extremely annoying if someone were to break your mask mid-fight. For one, you can't go into Vasta Rage. I believe you need the mask on for that to happen. Two, without the mask on, you literally lose 15% of your stats, and if you need them in the other stat sense, it's a 1.15 times nerf when you don't have your mask on, which is kind of a big difference. The whole idea of being 1.15 times weaker without your mask on is kind of a big deal. And even with the mask on, funny enough, right? Even with the mask on, they get a 1.12 times stat boost. And if you don't know, Vastocars get a 1.15 times stat boost in base, which means that even with the fully mastered visor, you'll still be weaker than a Vastocar. Which honestly makes no sense, but that's how they did it. But of course, that isn't the only thing. They did give them something to try to match up to Vastocars, alright? And that is Vasta Rage. Vasta Rage is extremely powerful. In terms of stats, it is slightly above Segunda, and Segundas are currently one of the most annoying forms in the game, just because they can change the whole different Segunda stats depending on the Segunda that you have. So they pretty much get a second full bar, which honestly, looking at it this way, they pretty much have 3 bars, alright? Soulreapers are honestly pretty good because of that, because they get the whole Bankai HP and then they get the Vasta Rage HP, which is pretty damn good. But the only biggest downsides to me with Vasta Rage is the fact that you can't use your Bankai or any other moves, like no Bankai, Shikais, or anything else. You simply get 2 moves, and that is a Zero that can guard breaks and has hyper armor. And if you don't know what that means, guard break means it's gonna destroy your guard if you're guarding or blocking in any sense, and hyper armor means you cannot be stopped. Most moves, if you were to hit someone during the move animation, it stops them. they don't get that. Vasto Rage actually stops that from happening, which is pretty damn good. Alright. And then the other move is similar. It has a Hyper Armor uppercut, which just grabs him, front flips him, and just slams him right into the ground. And the same move is actually in their counter, which is the when they hold block and then they just do the M2 counter or R counter, whichever button you use. And they do the same move. So they pretty much have that move as a counter at the same time as a move that you can use whenever, which is pretty good. It still remains at number 2 in the strongest because Visor honestly doesn't carry them. And then in terms of clan abilities, let's be honest, the strongest one is Aizen because as of right now, Zargik and Pudgy's clan for some reason can be stopped. If someone's actually doing the middle of the animation, you hit them right when the animation ends, you can stop that whole ability from actually happening. So until that's fixed, it's a pretty bad clan. Yamamoto, it's like Loisenborn from Vastocars, which isn't that bad, but it doesn't actually have any powerful clan abilities. Then you got Getsuga Tencho. In most cases, I've seen that in actual PvP. PvE, it's pretty good. In PvP, most people end up stopping the ability, so it doesn't end up being useful. So really, the only actual powerful ability is Aizen. Compared to the Vastocars and their clans, definitely not that good. Even Quincy's has some pretty OP clans. But let's move on. The best thing in the game. The real best thing. Fullbringers, like come on, they have absolute god tier damage, crazy movement. Every single time you have flash step, they're gonna be paying attention to the VFX for how cool it looks. They're gonna be dropping their guard for how weak, and they're gonna lower their guard, being completely unpredictable, and you're gonna be able to clutch up any match with them. Trust me, Fullbringers are the strongest. But alright, jokes aside, Vastocars are actually the strongest thing in the game. They have literally some of the strongest moves in the entire game, while also being downright powerful and tanky. Especially with their stupidly high base stats that they get on top of actually having a higher max level by 10, which by the way, that gives them 3 extra moves they can choose, or 3 extra upgrades they can choose to master more. Which, by the way, extra levels means their damage also gets increased slightly higher than others. If that isn't enough, their Segunda buffs them even further, so they get the 1.15 times stat boost on base. They get the extra 1.15 times stat boost depending on whatever Segunda that they have, so they can increase their stats further. And then they get an 100 extra HP, which isn't a lot, but that gives them enough to tank at least 1 extra move. They get the 80% EXP boost, so they can level up easiest compared to everyone else. Did I mention 10 extra levels? I think I mentioned that already. Yeah, Vastocars are definitely not that fun to go against. They have some of the most annoying abilities. Have you seen their Ceros? When you go up against Spirit Vild's Vastocars, they're like the most annoying thing ever. They're just running around spamming those high damage Ceros. And have the Stark Clan Ceros, the Grimjo Stack Cero, and Cypher Clan, which the Cypher Clan ability isn't really that powerful. Compared to the other two, it's far better. Those Ceros are really big and annoying. They have some pretty annoying clan abilities. And downright annoyingly strong. Whenever you fight them in Time Gate, it's definitely not that fun. Definitely not that fun. Quincy's are the weakest. They may have superly strong attacks, but don't really have anything besides the whole you watch gimmick. Besides that, they really aren't that overpowered or that hard to go up against. Even fighting a full melee Quincy isn't that difficult compared to if you use the other two. Quincycars are pretty much the same as Quincy, just slightly stronger in every way. Soulreapers, they may have the whole visor stuff, which is annoying to grind by the way. It still doesn't carry them to be stronger than Vastocars, since Vastocars stats are still higher in base even with a maxed out visor. And despite their Bankais actually have some pretty good abilities in comparison to Vastocars, it definitely does not carry them that much as people expect. And then Vastocars, yeah, they're just strongest. If you literally look at all their stuff, you got the whole Vessel and Chaos thing that they're using all the time. They got the whole tons of extra boosts and annoying skills. They're just annoying. But you know, the message of all this is simple. Run whatever you like. They all have some pretty powerful things, alright? This list is just to help guide a few of the new people that end up joining the game and have no idea what they decide to choose because they want to choose the strongest thing in the game. But do remember, this video isn't which one's best in PvP, which one's strongest in PvE. This is simply just which one's the strongest, alright? Because a Soulreaper can still beat a Vastocar. Like, if the Vastocar sucks, doesn't know how to use their abilities, or they just got completely diffed in PvP, like, what can I say? Just because they're the strongest doesn't mean they're the best, alright? Even a Quincy can ability a Vastocar with a stupidly high damaging moves. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.